2. I'm joined by Ula once again as my co-caster, one of the names you might know him as. So, streams as well and is currently a player for Druid. So, welcome back, Ula.
They call me
Thank you.
Good to have you back here. And look at this from Complexity, actually. This is not typical Complexity. Going deadlift and scrap. What?
No, it's... They're looking to push, it looks like. I mean, I saw the Magnus and then the Parasite from Hex. So I guess the deadlift was like a reaction pick to the Parasite because you can W his creeps. You can use the deadlift onslaught to like control the Parasite's creep. And if he gets puzzle box with Parasite, it's really good to use the deadlift onslaught to control the puzzle. So that limits the Parasite, like he can't really go the puzzle. But with the scrap pick, it looks like they're gonna try to do some crazy base push strat here.
So now, if you're Hex, obviously now that's it's fairly evident when you get deadlift and scrap. Yeah, the idea of push and that mentality is probably going to be a big deal here. So if you're Hex, how do you draft? What do you draft here? Is the obvious question now. They're going to start at least with an engineer. Kind of picking up on that. You like the NG pick? Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Engineer with this ultimate energy field, like it limits complexity space push. The choke point for the high ground. It's definitely a strong tool, and he has 2 AoE spells: the turret to slow down the push, and the keg for the AoE stun. Even the mines to just kill the creeps. It's a really strong tools. And I'm actually kind of surprised that Complexity picked up the scrap deadlift this early in the draft, because it's only the third pick. The deadlift is fine to pick early, I think, but picking the scrap as the third pick, I think it shows their strat a bit too much, maybe.
Yeah.
So Hex really they have 2 picks now to just adjust to the Complexity draft, and they can even ban off heroes that they don't want in this push lineup for Complexity. So I would like to see the scrap a bit later on in the draft.
Yeah, and as you're pointing out there, obviously you already see the reaction to that Polywog Priest, Defiler, definitely some heroes that you could expect to see with this idea of push. Now, another hero, still like a Balfagor on the board, and they're going to go Ophelia ban, and that's understandable, taking out Ophelia there, so... but there's definitely still some other ones there. In fact, you see them right-clicking the Balfagor now. It's one that came to mind here. So if they truly are going to go for push, then he's definitely one that I could see them picking here.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all. What Hex could do here is actually pick the Balfagor and just deny them the Balfagor. But that might be a little bit too next level. I would like to see maybe Hellbringer or... just some big AoE team fight. Maybe a Lodestone. Okay. Yeah. They're going the Flux. I really like that. The combo with NG and the Kraken. It's really a big wombo combo, and Complexity has to be really careful to push the high ground here of Hex with facing that kind of lineup.
So, yeah, if you're Complexity, I mean, they already went to Demented Shaman, as we talked about. It just seems like, Balfagor is the obvious pickup here. But I'm wondering, I mean, they could have a change of heart. And, I'm kind of looking at whenever we have seen somewhat of a very push heavy, still kind of having that carry, that kind of push carry is good. And heroes that come to mind, like a Corrupted Disciple, for example, a Slither, really can maybe benefit in that. A Soul Reaper, another hero that we haven't seen in a long time, that could be interesting. Yeah. So, I don't know.
Yeah, but if they pick... they're going so all in though. Like they have the scrap, they have the deadlift, they have the demented. If they pick a carry here, and they their win condition on Complexity side is the base push. If they get a carry and he gets farmed, they're picking up the Wilson now. So I guess that's a kind of a carry, but he's also a really good base pusher, because I think their win condition in this game is the base push. If they get a carry like Corrupted maybe, or like another agility. Or I guess Wild Soul is agility, but another carry that's kind of only good in the late game.
Yeah,
I would say, or
like a
better
vein.
Towards the late game. Yeah, or even a Swift Blade maybe. Like if they fail their base push, then it's kind of they're not gonna win the game of the Swift Blade, because now Hex has another pick, so they can maybe pick something even greedier, or like that can even. So yeah, I like the Wild Soul though. It really enhances their push potential, and it doesn't cripple their base push.
Yeah.
I would say it's a good late game hero, and it doesn't cripple their base push. So I think that's a really good pick here.
Yeah, no, that's what I was getting at. So it is good to see complexity kind of find the nice medium, even still good at both kind of deal. So, ooh, Parallax, the final pick, coming out for Hex on the other side. So yeah, I guess Parallax could be seen as a pretty good, solid counter pusher as well, even. So, is it gonna end up a Chaos Master? It looks like it might.
Yeah, I think they're gonna run the Flux Engine mid probably. No, what are they doing? Flux Engine long lane maybe, because they don't really have. I guess Kraken could be suicide, but Trumpstar usually plays the mid role, so they're gonna do Kraken solo mid, I think, and then Parallax solo top, and then go Flux Engine Parasite man up, and I think that's good laning. We'll see how Complexity responds here.
Yeah, it could be some mind games here early on as far as what they want to do. But yeah, so Parallax, the final pick. Again, it was talking about the Legion side maybe lacking that carry the late game possibility, and the Wild Soul somewhat changed that. Is Parallax really could he be considered actually a pretty scary, a good carry? Like a late game, do you think? I don't know how much history you have maybe with the hero, but...
Yeah, I've played it some. I think it's really good late game when he gets those big mana items with the passive as well, the dark mana. You know, he gets a lot of big mana pool, and then with the ultimate Earth Shatter, he can really do a lot of AoE damage. But even like he's not the strongest late gamer, but I don't really think they need it because they have the team fight. Like if the game drags on, the other heroes in Hex is really gonna shine. Where the Hex in complexity, the picks in complexities lineup is gonna taper off. So if it goes late, they don't really need the strongest carry. They need a carry that can fight early, and then their lineup as a whole is better late game than the Legion side.
Yeah,
I think.
Okay. Yeah, well, that's fair there. What is this?
Yeah, but Parallax is definitely potent in the late game.
Yeah, with that staff of the Master especially, it seems like its potential is definitely can be pretty good. The fact going through Shrunken Head, I know before that was a thing. That was a big criticism of this hero. He gets shrunken and ultimately kind of counters him, of course. So now with the staff prevents that idea. So very, very strong, of course. That's going to be fun to see if Chaos Master is able to get to that point here or not. But how about this, by the way? Snooki here playing the engineer. He actually ports middle lane, starts putting down some mines over here. So trying to set up an early mine trap, maybe catch somebody. Is this a good idea, a good tactic, you think?
He has practiced the hero a lot in a couple of days now. A couple of days now, he has practiced the hero a lot in TMM. He's played the mining NG. I think he played Woods. Maybe now he's on the support role, but he's really good at setting up those mine traps. I don't usually play mining NG, but if there's one guy I would trust mining NG with in a competitive game, it would be Snooki, because he's really shined in those games. I think he had Immortal. One game I played with him as well as the mining NG, so he's really good at setting up those mine traps and to predict the enemy movement.
Okay, well, we'll see if this actually comes into play or not. And it's going to be it could be a possibility if they come through the middle lane right here as they're roaming through the Hellborn jungle, they could maybe run over it, and depending on who is there, could possibly get a kill if he's able to have especially like 4 mines down it. What do we look? It's 125 for each, so yeah, 500 damage for the 4 mines. I guess it wouldn't be a kill on anyone probably, but maybe get some auto attacks in there too, possibly. So yeah, we'll see if and when that maybe could be the case here. As he's laying them down, it looks like again in the pause here from Polymorph. Special tactics pause apparently. So Kraken's up here at the top lane. So he's going to be short laning top. You got Parallax mid.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think if you look at the complexity draft, it's kind of it might show their lanes a bit because they're probably gonna run the deadlift demented long lane, I think, and the wild solo short. So even though Trumpsta usually plays the mid, as I said, I think they just put him up top, and he has 200 gold saved. So they're like maybe a bit unsure if they're gonna man up or not. So I mean, Kraken is obviously a better solo laner than Parallax. So maybe at first they thought Parallax would go top, but then they maybe changed their mind and think that Kraken is, if they man up, it's better if we have Kraken there. And Parallax mid, they don't think that Complexity is gonna go the dual mid. So they put Parallax mid to just secure his farm for the late game.
Okay, yeah, I get that late game presence if and when again it comes to that. So, all right, it looks like we are good to go here. Or resuming out of the pause. So yeah, seeing this roam here through the jungle. Demented Shaman in the front lines. Got a couple order sites actually. Gonna block the pole camp here. Possibly one more. He's making his way through. You already see Parasite and, well, Parallax kind of. But Parasite more so. Looks like he's interested in going to the Legion jungle even. Or maybe just hiding here for the time being. So he's not seen perhaps.
Yeah.
Yeah, gonna wait.
Warding this pull camp though, it kind of shows they're gonna man up, I think, because if you're the short lane against a man up, like sometimes you want to abandon that lane. If you're Hex, you want to abandon the short lane because they know they can't win against this deadlift demented, which is a really potent combo. So they just want to pull as much as you can, just get as much as you can out of the pull camp, and then when you block it, it really tapers, like it really makes Kraken not be able to farm anything now. So we'll see about that. It's really good to block the pull camp now.
Yeah.
You man up.
You see here, Engineer waiting for the 32nd. Gonna realize that. Crap. Can't do any stacking, so. Yeah, having to deal with that now. It's fun. Gonna be interesting to see, because we know Deadlift, he has a lot of potential to push in towers very quickly. And, you know, especially tied with a Demented Shaman in the lane, that could be very devastating here. So I'm expecting a pretty early tower push here from Complexity. Obviously, he does get the Dead Shall Rise first. Now, I'm always curious, especially in these kind of lineups, to see a Deadlift and whether or not they level up Onslaught at least 1 point earlier on in the game. I feel like we've seen them not do that. They just pass it up, actually, even, and just get Death Grip in the Dead Shall Rise. We'll see what he does at 2 right here. Nothing just yet, but God, it seems like to me, though, Onslaught's so good for pushing.
Yeah. If you want to push lane like this, they're not going to kill the Kraken. So he's going to probably level up the W. He's saving the point now if they get a chance on the Kraken. But I think he's going to level up the W because I don't think they're going to be able to kill this Kraken. And it also depends if you go Deadlift Woods, then you probably don't want to expect W because you're not going to push any towers. Bottom lane though.
Oh wow, scrap my die right here. Fuzzy Sloth, yeah, he's going to go down actually. Flux did get fairly low, but obviously getting the Bloodlust. Actually, Flux getting it there, so I didn't really catch too much of that other than the kill actually happening, but I guess it is a pretty tough combo there that he's going up against.
Yeah.
NG Flux.
It's so hard as scrap as well. No escape mechanic, and he's only 600 HP. So if he hit the keg, it's going to be, again, bottom.
Yeah, and so now we're seeing the example of perhaps how he got killed earlier on. He's probably going to live this time. Very close right there, but he at least lives. But, they're going to dive this, though. They know they have a good shot right here. Do they, though? Scrap, good job hiding, popping the region. And now Engineer actually the one in a lot of trouble all of a sudden. Yeah, he's not getting a solo kill, I didn't think. Rat Trap comes out, and there is the Boomerang. Engineer basically knows he's dead. He's just going to do as much damage as possible before he ends up going down right there. So, that backfired a little bit there. Trying to dive and kill Scrap. Meanwhile, back to the top lane. Yep, look at the tower. It's already dropping.
It's going down. And he spec the W because or the Onslaught, because he thinks that he's not going to be able to kill the Kraken, and therefore he wants to push the tower as fast as possible.
Yeah.
So he's actually getting 2 points in the E spell, in the Dead Shall Rise, and that's kind of curious to me. I think you kind of want to, I guess it's just to maximize the base push, and they really don't want to try to kill or anything. But the death grip is really a strong tool to get some kills. So it's curious.
Oh. Yeah, they almost misplayed that a little bit right there. They actually almost set up the Hellborn team to get a deny, but they got the tower kill. However, here comes Parasite as well as Engineer being here. Kexon on both perfect with that Minotaur initial stun. The mind's out as well. Dimension Shaman, he will fall. Can they at least take out Kraken? Deadlift wants this kill. It's not going to happen, though. One auto attack away, cannot secure it. Deadlift, however, he's tanking, but it's not going to be enough. He will get picked off as well, trying to run away. So getting hero kills like this, I mean, that's pretty significant here for the Hellborn team to make sure to get here, not let this get out of hand, of course.
Yeah,
Really
it's very good for Hex to get those early on hero kills so they don't face the snowballing complexity of just pushing every tower and they can't really do anything. So it's really good hero kills, and that Kraken survives. That's nice.
This is an interesting goal per minute chart, by the way, if you go to the graph there. I mean, you see the Legion side especially. I mean, obviously 4 heals, 300 plus goal per minute is very good to have. But the Hellborn team not too far behind, though.
No.
Their farm, so.
Even in the mid lane as well.
Yeah.
Oscar at 340 and Parallax at 330. Chaos Master playing that. NG had to rotate top though, so the Flux here bottom maybe is gonna have a little bit of a tougher time against. He went boots first on Flux, so he doesn't have the most stats, and that might make him suffer a bit now against the Scrap that has a lot more auto attack damage, or at least a bit more. But NG's back down now, smoked as well.
So, Scrap hits level 6, and speaking of him, he's going to dodge the keg stun here. Will that be enough? He's doing a lot of turn damage on a Flux, but the auto attack secures it there in the end. So, yeah, again, even dodging the keg stun not going to matter. Flux, however, he dies quickly. Alchemist Bones, by the way, on Formless. He comes in with that and helps secure a kill on a Flux here. So, Zanuki is still in trouble, unfortunately. Magnus, he's trying to find him. Actually, couldn't find him there initially. So maybe they're the ones that could set up a kill now.
Maybe Walsall is in a bit of trouble. Formless running back now, though.
Oh, he gets the ultimate form off at least. But yeah, here we go with Magnus. Lands stun on both. Parasite, though, quickly coming out of the creep. Trying to chase him down, but yeah, as pointed out, Scrap now ports in. And now they're looking to turn this on to Parasite even. He's going to be able to take over a Soldier. Not the greatest, though. I think he wanted the Ballista, but he ends up going down there. Not the best minion in that case to take over, so good job by Complexity.
Yeah.
Taking out Parasite. But I was going to say, too, where did Vorax go, by the way? What the hell?
He was bottom lane, I think.
Did they kill him? What?
Yeah, I think so. I saw him bottom, though. So
wow, yeah. So, but how
maybe he died hitting the tower.
Maybe? Huh. Oh, yeah, he probably was hitting the tower. You're right, okay. I just didn't catch that. Okay. Well, I mean, is that a big deal, the fact that they didn't really get a big push with Vorax? Isn't that kind of why you want Scrap in this lineup?
Yeah, but he's doing really well now, 380 GPM, and it's not bad to wait a bit, sit back a bit as Complexity and farm, because they're not peaking this. Their push is not going to peak this early. They're not going to have the most potent push this early on, so they're just looking to do the tower damage they can and let Formless sit back and farm with his Alk Bones. Obviously, he's not going to want to go for some early tower pushes when he picks up the Alk Bones, which is, by the way, a really good pickup this game. Well, you could argue that maybe going Abyssal Skull on the Wild Soul would be good, since it's a push lineup and you want to push the towers, but the Alk Bones is very good against Parasite, so you kind of want that. And just sit back and farm a bit. And he's, by the way, 400 gold per minute. That's a lot.
It sure is. And I actually wonder, speaking of Abyssal Skull, which is, are we going to see it maybe on Deadlift or Wild Soul? Because they both have that Ring of the Teacher. And both our heroes definitely could, because, Deadlift, that's how he likes to usually build, a very aura heavy, you know, the Abyssal, the Plated Greaves, as we see here, and so on. So, is there a preference, you think, on either hero?
I think because the Deadlift might be in trouble now, though.
Yeah, he is in a lot of trouble up here. He's not getting out of that one. Good job by the Hellborn team. Again, collapsing on him, and yeah, he was actually pushed up pretty far right there, so I think he's only got himself to blame, actually.
Yeah. I think they're gonna pick up the Abyssal Skull, though, on the Wild Soul, because I think what you got here on the deadlift and the long lane, you kind of want the teacher to push early. So it's a great tool to just get the push going on the lane, but getting the Ring of the Teacher on Wild Soul this early, it's kind of, there's not really a good reason to do it, so maybe he's looking to buy the Abyssal Skull just with the build-up. So that kind of gives it away, I think. But they're gonna look to set up something now on the bottom lane with the Flux and Energy combo, maybe.
Yeah.
Smoke.
There we go. Flux charging in. Energy field, yes, it will go down. Just start on top of that. Parallax. He's trying to do some combo. Now, he doesn't have his Earth Shatter, actually, but it doesn't really matter there. Quick kill already on Demented. Wild Soul picked off, and Scrap, he's just going to keep running. Is probably going to survive. Vorax is coming, by the way. But the Legion team, again, not really set up to take advantage of this Vorax push here. Similar to last time. So we'll see if it is able to at least do some damage here or not. You know, last time it kind of just went to the tower and then died fairly quickly. So, okay, Port is coming in for Demented here.
Yeah. Maybe Deadlift is looking to rotate down bottom now. To just push with the Vorax. But there we saw the Flux Energy combo really doing work. Making it hard to push for complexity.
Yeah.
But they're gonna look to push this bottom tower now. And what you got here on the deadlift is still up top, which is kind of curious to me. I guess it's just to create pressure on top lane, so someone has to be there, so they can take the bottom tower uncontested. And they're gonna go on NG top.
Oh, they missed the Mind Trap, by the way. But yeah, back to the top lane Engineer. He is going to be fine here. Magnus, a real one, still doing good. Deadlift also assisting, so how about this? Yeah, kind of split up here on the Legion side. It's kind of working, I guess. Oh, making it 1-for-1, actually. And by kind of working, I mean all of a sudden maybe not so much. Deadlift's in trouble here, and he's going to go down. 4 players dead on complexity all of a sudden. As 2 at the bottom lane, they also got picked off down here, pushing a little too much. And yeah, I mean, that kind of goes back to what you were just saying there, that they were deciding to spread out instead of group up and push, and they all died, other than Wild Soul.
Yeah, it really backfired. I thought the Deadlift was going to create enough space, so to say, to leave the bottom tower uncontested, the tier 1 and tier 2, but Hex split up smartly, and they managed to kill complexity on both of those, even both top lane and bottom lane. So that worked out really well for Hex.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, 10 minutes into the game, I mean, when you got a push team like this, you'd figure that you would at least want a comfortable gold lead at least. But
yeah,
the fact that we're nearly tied, Hex has to be feeling really good on all sorts of levels. Now, at the same time, Parallax, he chose to go post-haste first, really, as one of his first bigger items. Was that a good choice?
It's just a Chaos Master thing, I think. He really loves those post-hastes on the Oogie and the Parallax and other heroes as well. So it's a personal preference. I guess it's arguably kind of bad because you have to be at... It's good in one sense because he has to push out the lanes.
Yeah.
So he can be on many different places in the same time, but at the same time you kind of want to be able to hold back the complexity. Which is now pushing mid, so now he has to be mid and fight with the post-haste. That's 1600 gold he could have spent better.
He does have Earth Shatter, Flux, not here just yet, he ports in actually. Gonna get hit by that Death Grip, but again, if he pulls him in, could get a combo off right here. If he can't get the pull off though, which he can, that could be big. Flux goes down, Kraken as well being pulled in, he too is gonna fall. And Complexity, this fight at least, they come out on top, 2-for-0 exchange, so Chase going a little bit further. Engineer not going to be caught, though. No energy field used right there. Again, they couldn't really get their combo off that they definitely need to really have in these fights. So this secondary tower, it too is probably going to fall right here. Not much you can do when the whole team is together like this and pushing. That's, again, the obvious strength with them. I don't know if they can break the base, though.
We'll see. But the Mines and the Cake doing a lot of work. We'll see. Deadlift even max, something worth to note is Deadlift max is the Dead Shall Rise instead of maxing the conventional Death Grip.
Yeah.
Just for the push, I would assume. But yeah, they're doing a lot of... They have the base tower down to 100 HP here, 12 minutes in. And this is the kind of danger, even though it doesn't look so good for the push lineup, if they can... Oh, he died to mines.
Oh, the mine trap, nice.
Yeah, but even though you don't think you're that far behind, the push lineup, it can really snowball. You just get all of the units, the deadlift units and the creeps, and when Mag stuns in on one guy, and he's just getting attacked by all the units and the heroes, it's really hard. It's like a death ball just rolling, and
Yeah.
it can really snowball fast, as we saw there mid.
Yeah, I know, and again, going back to that too, it's like all of a sudden mentioning at least you'd want a little bit of a lead if you're the Legion team. Well, they do have a little bit of a lead now, 2,500 gold lead against, not massive, but it is something to work with here. Now, Engineer, you mentioned that energy, or the mine trap even, that got that kill right there on a Magnus. It actually gave him a nice boost of gold, and you look at Snooki here, he's 5-1-7, 340 gold per minute basically. This is a main support engineer technically that's doing it. He's going to have a portal key.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about. He really shines on that hero, the mining Engie. And he's doing well here in competitive games as well with the mining Engie. Just wrecking people left and right. But we're gonna see as soon as the Engie gets the portal key, so he can get into a favorable position with his the Demented on the bottom lane.
Okay, yeah, I mean this was so obvious bait though at the same time, and I was wondering if they're gonna fall for it. They kind of do. Flux is in trouble. He does have a discharge, but he figures it's best not to use it actually. Yeah. But again, that goes back to he was literally just pushing out like 2 creeps by himself, nobody showing on the map. I mean, yeah, you kind of figure. I know we can see that it was, but probably should have noticed that if you're Hex there. So they do take the bait, and unfortunately lose the one hero. Flux, you see Flux on the other hand, he is struggling a little bit. He does at least have the portal key though, as well.
That's the big item though. I wouldn't mind seeing him with more items, so to say, but I think it's fine as long as he has that portal key, because this is going to be the deciding fight. I think this is going to might even be game deciding. Like the upcoming push now from Complexity, they're probably going to opt to maybe go for the top tower or the Kongor. But then when they go mid on the really low defensive tower, if they can break Hex base and get the racks down, I think then it's gonna be very hard to come back as Hex. So if they get the core items now, the PK on the Flux, the PK on the Engie, they might have a chance here to defend mid and come back into this game.
Yeah, all it takes is one fight, it really feels like. You win one fight here if you're Hex. And Parallax, gets more farm as a result. It's starting to work now towards a probably going to be a sheep stick, I would think, with that Luminous Prism here. But he definitely has some carry potential, as we're getting at earlier. So Kongor is going to fall. There we go. Wild Soul token. We're just going to pick it up on him. Wouldn't have expected anything else.
No. And we see the Abyssal Skull here on the Wild Soul though. So he picked that up. And we have so many supportive team items on Complexity side. We have the Astrolabe, the Abyssal Skull, the Soul's Bulwark, the Tablet even to get away. What they're lacking though is the Magnus PK. He hasn't really had that great of a game. He's 300 gold per minute with many towers down, and he was mid lane. So I would like to see Oscar maybe get his PK a bit faster. That's also a very crucial item. But Legion really looking good here.
Yeah. Top lane?
Top lane though.
Magnus, speaking of him, he's trying to get that portal key, but Parallax gonna prevent that a little longer. You see him using that the ultimate, the Earth Shatter there, as well to assist with plenty of damage to eventually drop Magnus. So yeah, great pursuit by him. And again, preventing it that much longer. So 14 and 30 gold saved up on Magnus, but still needs a little bit more before we're going to be finishing that.
Yeah, it's really hard to play the mid role though. I think Oscar, the gank back bottom lane, like 5-6 minutes ago when he was invis and running around, that made him like he had a really good farm. He had like 350, and then he tried to gank bottom and he wasted a lot of time when he could have farmed mid. And it's so crucial to get the PK on the mag. So maybe one could argue that he would have maybe been farming. It's in hindsight though, but it's really good to focus on the farming with the Magnus and those PK heroes to just get snowballing.
Yeah.
Get going.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
as far as items go, I think that Hellborn, they have their core items, so they don't have to be so scared of the push, I feel. Um, but obviously Complexity have the gold lead, so we'll see about this. Though they don't really have a Sackstone on the Legion side, I would like to see that item just for the extra armor. Maybe the PK on the Kraken.
They do have plated greaves, and those
Oh
don't
yeah,
stack,
maybe
remember,
those.
so yeah.
Okay, then it's fine, I guess.
So
Maybe a Gnomes. Gnomes is also really good.
Oh, yeah.
Especially against the magic heavy team of Hex. A Gnomes would be very good.
Gnomes would be fantastic here, absolutely. So, I wonder if, I guess Deadlift could technically, or actually Scrap would be a decent candidate for that.
Yeah.
But,
He's looking to get the Shrunken though. But I guess it's fine as well. Just addressing the magic damage of the Hex lineup. Parasite here getting the puzzle. I'm kind of curious about that because they do have the Alkbones, they do have the deadlift as well to control with the onslaught. So maybe I would like to see him go maybe an Astrolabe just for the team fight presence, or maybe a Soul's Bulwark or those team fight items to fend off the complexity push. That's gonna be. They're looking to take this top tower just to get the extra gold and then going for the base, I guess.
Yeah, Scrap kind of.
With the Vorax.
Yeah, is it spawned yet? Oh, it is. Yeah, it is coming top, or it's already here. Okay. Yeah, Scrappy's out in the front here with that invis. Gonna see if he can maybe catch somebody. Trying to set up, as we see, not gonna happen. You got Hellborn inside Hex. It's very clear that they know that they're in a spot of, if they're not pushing our base, not worth defending. It's gonna happen. So they just give up that top tower. But the base, definitely a different story. Don't want to give that up for free, of course. So here they are.
Yeah, something really important to worth noting for Hex is to be here in time.
Oh. Flux pulls in. Waltzel kind of caught in it somewhat, but he is going to be fine. Ultimate form activated. Parallax Earth Shatter is out, doing some pretty good damage in the background. Waltzel dropping, not enough though. He will stay alive, and the life still kicking in now. Flux, he is already dead. Parasite down as well. You see Parallax trying to position that Earth Shatter, but he is now out of mana. He does take out Scrap right before that mana goes away, but he's going to have to start regening now, perhaps even go all the way back to the well here before he can get back into this fight. And about 50 seconds on that Earth Shatter cooldown. So with that being down, actually, yeah, we still might see complexity pushes, and sure enough, they are going here.
Yeah, Kraken still has his ultimate left, so we'll see how that goes. But the NG Flux ult was really subpar.
Oh no, and Parallax, I don't know what his plan was there, but he poured it in to his Fulcrum shift. He goes down. Now he does buy back. Maybe this was a plan to get them to be a little too confident. It's not going to work, though, if it was. Flux goes down. Parallax in the background. He's trying to do work, maybe get the kill on the Scrap. It's not going to happen, though. Parallax will fall. Double tap for what you got, and here go the racks now. So the push is successful, and yeah, this is definitely a case of could be so game-changing, game-swinging one way or the other. And it seems like Complexity winning the battle here. Now, we're not done just yet, even. Parallax, he actually does die a second time. And now he is at a 5-act, so they put it all into trying to hold this. And unfortunately are going to come up just shy. So Complexity, it's not over yet, but they are really ahead now at this time here.
Yeah. 2 buybacks used on Parallax, buyback used on Kraken, so he's not going to get his peak anytime soon. Hex, the Snooki used the buyback as well on the NG, so it's looking grim. The mid-racks now is probably going to be the free with the low base tower, so...
Yep, they're going right for it. They know that, obviously, with the deaths here. And, you know, something I did really pick up on the last fight, we don't get to see this hero often in Parallax, but I could see the potential of being really good, but when his ultimate's on cooldown, he's a lot different. It's kind of like a War Beast. It's like a War Beast where when he doesn't have his ultimate form, it's a completely different hero. He's not nearly as effective or dangerous than with it. So
I think it goes back to the post-haste pickup though, because with that, he's not gonna have the most stats to fight. So maybe his Q is just so underwhelming because of the lack of stats. So maybe if he would have went maybe the Steam Boots or just Striders into a little bit more stats, he would do more damage with the Q. But yeah, in his current condition with the post haste, it's gonna be hard to fight without the ultimate up.
They're going to try to defend this bottom push. Again, that would absolutely... Oh, they try to get a land here in a wombo combo. They get a couple of heroes in it. Earthshatter down as well on top of it. Oh, Demented Shaman may get picked off. Deadlift, though, actually tanking through it. Barely surviving, but he does survive. Again, he is so tanky right there. So, again, Hex really going for a big, big chance right there. But Fight have to take some risks. They come up short, unfortunately. And you see Deadlift actually resurrecting. I think that was Demented Shaman there in the background. And getting him back up, actually. So the push going to go further. There is a mine trap here, by the way. I wonder if somebody may... Oh, Boo Boo maybe? Yeah, oh, Boo Boo's dead. So got him killed at least, but not the biggest deal in the world. Flux feels like he has a shot. Oh, takes out Magnus. Unfortunately, that's it, though. All right, I think Complexity is on the verge now of going to be taking a series here. So, yeah, Complexity a little different from them with this whole push strategy.
Yeah.
But it was fun to see. Overall, good game here. Yeah. Much different than the first game.
Yeah, they're gonna get the mega creeps, so it's gonna be probably game here. Parallax tries one last time, but
yeah. God, you know, part of me though, I'm still waiting to see. We have had a couple of good Parallax performances, but I really want to see a game where we get a Parallax with that staff, you know, especially, and come into somewhat of a late game and really see that damage he can do. Because I keep hearing about the potential, and on paper it seems like it is definitely pretty deadly. But we never really get to see it, unfortunately, here in the competitive scene.
Yeah.
So
it's a lot of... I don't know why that is. I think it's just a little bit weak in laning phase. It has good team fight potential, definitely, but
yeah.
it's just... It feels like Oogie is just the same hero, but better.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe. Something like that. Yeah.
All right.
We'll see.
Well, that's game 2, and that's Complexity again taking it. So they will get the 2-0 sweep, and, of course, thus getting the bonus point there. 3 points in total. So... yeah, I mean, Polymorph, obviously, yeah, the first game, it was a bit of a troll there, frustration, whatever it was. Game 2, much better performance. That was good to see. And I think, if anything, it's not even that it's, like, annoying to see players do that, just kind of not taking it seriously, even remotely. But it's like, we know Polymorph is a team with potential to beat a team like Complexity. So then to kind of, and we kind of saw there in that game, too. I mean, they definitely had some good moments, but... ultimately, they did come up short, but it was good to at least see them trying there, definitely, in that game, too. And what turned out to be overall a pretty good game there. So, but Complexity, the push, proved to be too much there in the end. So, yeah, your final thoughts on the game here?